This is the most raw, authentic, and honest video I've ever made in my entire life. So please respect me. Don't go scrolling down the fucking comments. Just pay attention. Grab some fucking popcorn or some sweets or some shit. Treat yourself. Watch this video and take in absolutely everything that I'm about to say, because this is an ego killer for me. This is really going to fucking damage my ego telling you this shit. So please just pay attention and respect me for that, because I'm putting my ego on the line here for thousands of people to see, just so you can learn. Because if you are a man that struggles with any type of sexual problems and you want to learn how to solve these problems, this video will literally save your life. So please pay attention, okay? Now, I'm currently 21 years old. When I was 18, I met my first love, if you want to call it that, right? I met the girl that I fell in love with. My first proper long-term relationship. I've had relationships in the past before that. I've had plenty of experience with girls before this relationship, before I was 18. But it was nothing serious, kind of like just high school shit, right? This was my first love. Proper true love. I genuinely adored this girl. I met her in lockdown 2020 when I was 18 years old. We're in this exact park, actually, and I was walking up a hill with my dog, and she was running down the hill. She was running. And at this time, I was just starting to get into fitness. I really, started getting into running and stuff like that. And yeah, I kind of had a thing for fitness girls, for girls that were just quite natural and healthy and they looked after themselves. So I saw this girl running down the path, and as we passed each other, I was walking my dog. I was very, very shy and socially awkward at this point, bearing in mind. But she smiled at me and I smiled at her as we kind of passed each other. Let me just get comfortable because this is going to be an interesting fucking video, bro. So we smiled at each other. And we knew of each other before this point, through friends of friends, went to different schools and stuff like that. But some of our friends knew each other's friends, and that's how we kind of knew each other, through Instagram and stuff like that. So she messaged me on Instagram and she said, "Nice dog," with a little smiley face. And I replied to something about like, "Oh, why have you not got any Instagram posts?" Because again, she didn't have any Instagram posts. These are some green flags in this girl at the start, right? Now, the point being, I'm not going to go too in depth about that relationship in this video, but the point being is, at this time period when I was 18 years old, this was before I was just getting into the whole self-development thing, just getting into the whole like bettering yourself. I used to read like military books, special forces kind of military books, and I used to learn about mindset and fitness and positive thinking and all that kind of stuff from those guys. That was my introduction into self-development, if you want to call it that. So I was just bettering myself at this point in my life. At this time, I still used to watch porn, because again, I wasn't aware of the damage it was doing in my brain. I literally remember the thoughts I used to have. I used to think back and think, nah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's normal. This is just what people do. So I used to watch porn, and I would say I was mildly addicted, because when I tried to quit, it wasn't as easy as just not doing it ever again. It was like a mental battle, a mental tug of war to not do it. So I was, to some extent, addicted, right? I wouldn't say it was anything crazy. I wasn't a fucking like weirdo or nothing with it, but it was just, yeah, I used to watch it often. And you know better than everyone, because you've experienced this yourself, and you know from first-hand experience that porn desensitizes you to real-life sex. It desensitizes you to real-life sexual experiences in point blank, in period. Whether that's sex, whether that's just being turned on by a woman in real life, it desensitizes you to this. And the reason for that is because it plays upon your intrinsic desire as a man, which is to simply just reproduce, spread your seed, and leave a legacy. There is something called the Coolidge effect. Now, the Coolidge effect is simply, if you were to have sex with a woman, you were to ejaculate, finish, you would then go through a phase called the refractory period, if I pronounced it correctly. Now, what this means is where you basically go through a stage where your sexual energy is quite depleted and you can't get an erection until about an hour later, right? You've all been there. You've had sex with a girl and then, okay, you kind of just, you're done. You need to sleep or whatever. You can't get an erection. The Coolidge effect proves that you can have sex with one girl, finish, ejaculate, the refractory period would kick in, so you would no longer be able to get an erection for this girl. If a new girl then walked into the room and, you know, started acting in a sexual way towards you, you would be able to get an erection for this new girl. Because as a man, your sole evolutionary purpose is to simply just reproduce as much as possible. That's all that your goal is as a man, is to reproduce, to spread your seed, to keep the cycle of life going. So what porn does is it plays upon this desire. It plays upon this intrinsic motivation of the Coolidge effect, with having millions of different women on your screen instantly. This is obviously naturally going to just annihilate your dopamine receptors. It's like a drug. It literally is a drug. It's not even like a drug. It's one of the worst drugs. It fucks and fries up your dopamine receptors because it's unrealistic. That's like you being in a room with 100 different women and you can have sex with any of them. When is that going to happen? Do you know what I mean? That's more than a king would get back in the day. That's what that's doing to your brain. And you wonder why you can't get an erection in the bedroom with a girl that you like. So, I used to watch porn at this point. So naturally I was desensitized. And because I was desensitized, if I was able to get an erection after some time of stimulation, it would take a while, it would take a long period of stimulation, sexual stimulation, to get an erection for me. I'd have to literally just like actively try to get an erection, so without porn, so in real life sex. So in this first relationship that I had with this girl, this first long-term proper relationship, you know, we're exploring each other's bodies and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to get too vulgar in this video because I don't want to, you know, expose her personal life as well, but just to keep it valuable for you, yeah, we were getting to know each other, we're exploring different sexual avenues, let's say, and just trying different things. And I found through this period, and it's only now looking back with hindsight that I can reflect on this and learn exactly what happened and why it happened. Through this period, I could last as long as I wanted in the bedroom. Now the reason for that is because by the time I actually got an erection, I was so desensitized, my penis was so desensitized, my mind was so desensitized to real life sex without porn, because I was conditioning myself to only be able to ejaculate and get aroused through pornography. So naturally when I get into the real life situation, my body just doesn't respond unless it's vigorously sexually stimulated. You can probably relate to this to some extent. This is why erectile dysfunction is so common in a lot of men. This wasn't my problem. This is not the problem I'm talking about in this video. I'll get into this in a second, so please pay attention. So I could last as long as I wanted. It was not a problem, right? Because I was desensitized. Because it would take me literally forever to just ejaculate without pornography. With pornography, I could ejaculate like that, like instantly. Because it was so, that was my drug that I needed the high from. So, I just naturally thought, yeah, I have no problems lasting in the bedroom. That's fine, it's normal. Then guess what? I discovered NoFap. I discovered semen retention and all this internet beauty telling young guys, stop watching pornography, stop masturbating, stop self-pleasure. It's not good for you. It's frying your brain. It's doing damage to your sexual organs, right? Stop doing that shit. Okay, let me try that. That's interesting. My mate told me about it first, actually, if I remember correctly. My friend told me, and he's like, kind of joked about me. He used to call it Thomas the Tanking. And he's like, mate, have you been Thomas the Tanking again? Which basically means like wanking, right? Masturbating. Have you been Thomas the Tanking again? I was like, what the fuck are you on about, bro? What are you talking about? He's like, oh, have you been wanking? You watching porn? I was like, what's it got to do with you? And then he basically explained the whole concept of NoFap and why it's good for you and why porn's bad for you. And I tried it. And instantly it changed my life, obviously. You know, I'm not going to get too deep into the, oh, NoFap's amazing, blah, blah, blah. You get it, yeah. Don't masturbate, don't watch porn. You understand the benefits, right? You're not retard. With that being said, one noticeable effect that I found was my sensitivity to sexual stimulation and to sexual stimulus in general, just seeing a woman naked, instantly went through the fucking roof. I could kiss, a girl could look me in the eyes and kiss me, and I could get rock hard like that. Whereas in my previous relationship, it would have to take, sorry to be vulgar, a lot of blowjob action, right? A lot of sexual stimulation, a lot of just stimulus for me to even get half of an erection, right? As soon as I quit porn, as soon as I cut out masturbation and desensitized myself from these things, guess what? My sensitivity in real life sexual encounters was perfectly normal and healthy. The only problem with this, because I was not conditioned and used to it, was that premature ejaculation is now the opposite. Erectile dysfunction is where you can't get an erection. It's where you find it hard to get hard, no pun intended. Premature ejaculation is when you can't last long. So basically you ejaculate too quickly. Here's the problem, bro. As soon as I stopped masturbating and watching porn, because I knew it was bad for me and I never wanted to go back to that lifestyle, I understood that. I was very aware of that. As soon as I stopped that and I started to have sex and, you know, you just do my thing, whatever, I found that I was lasting very, very short. Like I would bro, there was times where I'd be kissing a girl for a while and I was rock hard, bro. I was fucking like, please don't watch this if you're family members and stuff. You probably clicked off by now, hopefully, but this is vulgar as shit and it's personal, but you guys can learn a lot from this. So there'd be times where I'd be kissing a girl and I'd be fucking rock hard, bro. And by the time she would pull my pants down and touch me, I was ready to bust. I was ready to explode, right? because that's how sensitive my penis was, which is normal. This is how sensitive it should be. You shouldn't be desensitized. You shouldn't have these fucking problems of erectile dysfunction. You shouldn't have that. But you shouldn't have premature ejaculation problems either. This is what we're going to talk about in this video. So what you may find, and what I know for a fucking fact a lot of you guys struggle with, because as soon as you get onto NoFap and you stop watching porn, your mind is naturally desensitized from pornography. So then you start to get into real life sexual encounters and you realize, oh shit, I can't. What the fuck, bro? Someone's hacking my bike. And you realize, oh, now I can get an erection like that, but I last like 2 seconds, bro. She just touches my dick and I'm off. Because you're not used to it. Because your entire life, your experience of sexual stimulus has been through pornography and has been through rigorous masturbation. And that's not good for you at all. Really desensitizes you. It fucks you up mentally as well. So as soon as you put these things away and you identify, okay, I never want to do these things again. This was my problem. I never wanted to do them. I understood that, okay, in terms of solving this premature ejaculation problem, I could just watch porn and desensitize myself, because I know that works, because I've done it before in my previous relationship, like I mentioned. But I also never wanted to do that again, because I know how amazing I felt when I wasn't doing those things. When instead of sitting there and masturbating by myself like a loser, I'd go out and dress up nice and smell nice and learn to talk and be funny and socialize and be confident and charismatic. All these amazing things that I always preach to you boys, and actually attract and seduce a real life woman. That is so much more fulfilling and rewarding and confidence inducing than sitting at home with your pants, you know, between your ankles and fucking Thomas the Tanking yourself off. So, started to, you know, obviously do my thing, bit of a playboy, always been a bit of a playboy, have fun with multiple different women, and every single time there was the same reoccurrence. I'd get in there and I'd be trying to stop it from happening. As soon as I got into the sexual stimulus part, as soon as my pants were down, bro, that was it. I was just fucking busting. I couldn't last longer than like 30 seconds on a good day. It was that bad. As soon as I put my dick in, bro, I was like, oh fuck, I have to pull it out again. Now, I can only talk about this now with confidence and openness because it doesn't affect me anymore, because I've found the solution. But back then, I remember how frustrating it was, bruv. Every time there'd be a... Bruv, I remember this time I was with a MILF, this Polish woman, and she was beautiful. Massive tits. I'm not going to get too vulgar, but listen. The type of, like, shit you see in porn, right? And I was doing this in real life. Because I was now the kind of guy that, yeah, I could attract women in real life. I was confident, I could talk to women, I was funny, etc. I had good energy about me, whatever. The only problem, the only weakness that I had was this premature ejaculation problem. So I get in the bedroom, I do all the hard work was done. I finally got in the bedroom. And she was dressed in this sexy teacher outfit. Because I always had this like kink for teachers. Well, there's some raw video. I don't even plan on making this shit, but this is raw as fuck because I just burned in the sun today. I always had this kink for like teachers and stuff. I think it's because I had like a fit maths teacher in high school. So I just naturally always had a kink for teachers. Anyway, she dressed up as a teacher for me. And I was like a student, right, role playing. And I got in there and bro, she started sucking my dick. And I came within like 10 seconds. Like so quickly, bro. It was ridiculous. I was so sensitive and I had no idea what I was doing. Right, what could I do to solve this? All these thoughts were going through my brain of like, yeah, but well, maybe it's because, you know, you haven't released in ages. So maybe you need to masturbate to make sure you can last long because you've got too much sexual energy. Maybe, you know, this is just what sex is like and porn is normal and you should watch porn. And all these just random thoughts flowing from my head trying to solve the problem. And guess what? One day, I met this girl and the same problems were occurring, you know, ejaculating too quickly, whatever. One day she had a vibrator. She had a vibrator and I realised it. And I used the vibrator on her. And, you know, every single time, obviously, I'd have sex with her. I'd put it in and instantly have to pull out again because I couldn't control myself because I was not used to it because my experience of sexual stimulus was through pornography and masturbation, which is not realistic and it's bad for you. So when you get into the real life situations, you have these kind of problems. So I was never going to make her come with my dick, right? Obviously, I'm good at doing it other ways. Thankfully, I'm quite blessed in other areas. So I never had to worry about that. But actually fucking the girl and making her come through penetration, I could never do because obviously I couldn't last longer than fucking 5 seconds. So this was a problem. And I used a vibrator on this one girl once and she came quite quickly. Obviously, vibrators is basically porn for women. It's so like that fucks up your dopamine receptors as well. So if any women are watching this and you like to enjoy a vibrator every now and then, make sure you're using it in moderation, because that will desensitize you to real life stimulus as well. It's just so unrealistic. A penis can't vibrate, right? It's just fucking crazy. But anyway, I used it on her and it kind of opened my eyes. I was like, fuck, why am I not able to do that to her? It kind of pissed me off and I felt quite insecure. I had to fight off these insecure thoughts for quite a while, right? And I remember this one time, quite some time afterwards, like it was like a month after or something, of, again, this reoccurrence of just going over to a house, blah, 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 whatever, ejaculating too quickly. The only reason I'm able to maintain these girls, even though I couldn't fuck them properly. Yeah, obviously I had skills in other areas. I'm quite skilled with my mouth and other areas. But the only reason I was able to maintain these girls is because I had all the other statistics checked off, right? My energy, my confidence, I was funny, attractive, etc. Everything else was maxed out. So this one problem wasn't really too much of a problem because I could satisfy her in other ways. Obviously, some girls just want to be fucked though. Some girls just want penetration. That's what turns them on. So you want to make sure that you are a master in every realm of sexual endeavor, let's say. You don't want to just, oh, well, it's okay because I can use my fingers. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be able to do everything, okay? So there was this one day, again, same thing happened. We're in the bedroom. Everything's heating up again. You know, I'm getting nervous because I'm thinking, fuck, it's going to happen again. Like, is this another time that it happens again? And, you know, it was ingrained in my beliefs at this point that, oh, I was just the guy that struggled with this. And this was part of the problem. I was the guy that struggled with it. I was the guy that has struggles with premature ejaculation. That was part of my identity, which was why it was affecting me so much. There is a lot to it. I'm going to make a full-on video, a full guide to curing this. If you are interested in curing your premature ejaculation problems today, and I literally mean today because I've gone through the years of having to learn this shit. And I remember the day that it hit me. I'm going to explain the story to you in a minute. The day that all of this information hit me and I realized what it was I was doing wrong, and I also realized how to correct it and solve this issue forever. I can teach you that in 1 hour. I can teach you all that you need to know to solve this problem for the rest of your life. So if you are a young man right now, you're young, you're in your prime, you're learning how to have sex, you're learning how to, you know, be a bit of a womanizer. Part of you know, being a good partner for a woman, a lot of it is to do with your bedroom skills. You know, you can be the most funny and energetic and positive guy. That's only going to get you so far. It's only going to last so long. At some point, she's going to want that sexual satisfaction. And if you're not giving it to her, she's going to either look for it elsewhere or she's just going to give it to herself. And you don't really want that. You want to be the guy that she craves it off of you. You want to be that guy. So if you are struggling with any sexual problems, whether that be erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, performance anxiety, whatever it may be, come and talk to me. I've been there and done it. I've literally exposed myself for 17 minutes and I've still got more to go. So come and save yourself the years of having to learn this shit in 1 hour with the coaching down below. Come and talk to me and I'll save your fucking sexual life, I promise. So back to the story. I was in the bedroom, things were heating up, and we kind of had a moment where I think there was a noise outside, so we kind of had a moment where we stopped kissing and we looked at each other and we kind of like laughed, like, oh, you know, shut the fuck up, whatever. And in that moment she said, oh, I've got an idea. And she kind of like went to reach for the vibrator. And I don't know what it was, but this one particular day, you know what's actually quite funny is I do know what it was, and it's quite funny how this inspired me. We were watching 50 Shades of Grey on Netflix before this event occurred, let's say. And that movie, if you haven't seen it, I recommend you go and watch it because it's quite good and it shows you a little bit about what women want in the bedroom. And I already kind of knew this stuff, but just watching it in movie form kind of inspired me. I don't know what it was. It quite inspired me to be like, just be that guy that can just, you know, seduce a woman so well. So we watched 50 Shades of Grey, and that kind of inspired me, watching, you know, all the sex scenes and how he's just so good in the bedroom, let's say. Kind of inspired me. And I struggled with premature ejaculation all up until this point. Watched 50 Shades of Grey. That kind of inspired me. I was like, yeah, I wish I could be a guy like that. She went to reach for the vibrator, kind of like as a joke, kind of testing the waters. Oh, I've got an idea. Kind of went to reach for I grabbed the hand and I pinned it to the mattress. I was like, nope. I pinned it to the bed. I promise you, this has never happened before, right? We were naked at this point. So obviously it was about to happen, about to have sex. And usually I put my dick in, instantly have to pull it out because I was gonna finish, right? I was gonna ejaculate. This one time, I remember getting a thought in my brain, the same thought that I always get before I do it. which is, and this is just one of the steps to my, I believe, 6-part solution to premature ejaculation. This is just step 1. So I got a thought in my brain, which was where the negative self-image was coming from. Remember when I spoke about before, when I said I had this negative self-image, I was just the guy that struggled with it. The thought came into our brain and it said, find an excuse not to have sex right now. Find an excuse to come back later. Kind of doubting it as if like, oh, you're about to finish quickly. I had these thoughts come in my brain like, oh, you're about to finish quickly again, get ready, you're about to finish quickly. Kind of talking myself down. These intrusive thoughts came into my brain. Do you know what I did? Number 1, I cut the thought dead and I replaced it with a positive. I replaced it with kind of a fuck you attitude. Like, I'm going to fucking show you. I'm going to show you, brain, what I'm capable of. Sounds weird as fuck I was doing all of this while trying to seduce the girl. Anyway, this is what goes on in a man's mind. This is why men's mental health is so fucking, it's so important to talk about, because who the fuck are you going to talk about this shit with? You know what I mean? It's embarrassing. Luckily, I'm a fucking G and I don't give a fuck. I can own this shit with confidence. And I can teach you along the way. That's why the coaching says you can come and talk to a big brother that you never had about things that you would never talk to anyone else about. Because I'm not judging you. I'm willing to expose myself for 20 minutes. But anyway, I cut the thought dead and I thought to myself, I'm the fucking man. Do you know what? I'm the fucking man. Shouldn't need that vibrator. Shouldn't need that shit. I'm going to show who the fuck I am. I was kind of inspired by 50 Shades of Grey right now as well. I was kind of doing the whole dominant, controlling, like, you know, taking control of the situation, whatever. The whole BDSM thing. And I got the thought of like, right, fuck the vibrator, shouldn't need that shit. I'm going to show her what's up, right? Cut the thoughts dead as well, cut the intrusive thoughts dead and replaced them with positive ones. Started bigging myself up almost arrogantly. I'm the fucking man. You know what I mean? I'll show you, brain. I've got this. You know, this is easy, I'm capable, whatever. And then another part of it was, I always had this, because obviously it was a fear of mine. It was almost becoming where sex was a fear because I was scared of embarrassing myself due to premature ejaculation. So it was kind of a fear. And what do I always say to you boys? The only way you can get over your fear is by committing to it. And what did I always used to do? In my mind, I always used to run away from the fear. So even though I'd, physically try and have sex with the girl, I'd physically try and make it work, try and, you know, stop the premature ejaculation. Mentally, I was still hiding away. I was still just wanting it to end. I was still running away from it. So what this was doing is it putting my body in a sympathetic nervous system state of being. This is basically what fight or flight is. Because I was trying to run away from something, I was trying to get away from a situation, naturally stress kicks in, cortisol levels rise in your body. And your body goes into a sympathetic nervous system state of being. And when you're in this state, your body's main priority is not lasting long in the bedroom. So if you're in a state of, okay, I'm having sex, but I need to get out of here, your body's going to make you ejaculate as quickly as possible so you can stop what you're doing and go, right? This is what I was doing to myself because I was mentally running away from the fear. Mentally, I wanted it to end because I was embarrassed about what was going to happen. But this one particular time, this first time I did it, it kind of like it all just hit me. This one time, I not only took control and physically acted like the fucking man, like the confident, dominant alpha male that I wanted to be, whatever. He's cringy, but you know, you get what I'm saying. But mentally, I had the right mindset. I was confident. I only fed into positive thoughts that gave me power and strength in that situation. I didn't tell myself, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm going to, you know, release too quickly. I only fed into positive thoughts. Fuck me, bro, I'm going to be immune to the sun by the end of this video. And number 2, I committed to the fear. I said to myself, right, you're not going anywhere until you've made this girl come. You're not going anywhere. You're not finishing. You're not ejaculating until you've made this girl come. I kind of trapped myself in the situation and said, no, you're not going anywhere. I completely committed to it. I detached myself from the outcome. I didn't care what happened. I didn't care if I ejaculated too quickly or if I didn't. I completely committed to it. 100% of my being was like, right, we're doing this with presence. I'm not thinking, oh, but let me try and make it as quick as possible so I can just go and I don't have to embarrass myself. Nope. I'm committing to it and I'm giving her the experience that she desires from me. Right? This girl loves me. This girl adores me. In every other area, I'm perfect for her. Energy-wise, confident-wise, attractive, you know what I mean? I've got everything going for me. This one weakness that I had was, okay, I just couldn't last long. I was good with my hands, I was good with my mouth, but I just couldn't use my dick properly. Then this one time, I just committed to it. And there are some physical practices that I've also been practicing up until this point, which absolutely changed the game for me. And I'm going to teach you those in the coaching down below in the description. And is also in a future video, a full guide. No idea when that's going to drop. So if you want to learn it today and you don't want to have to struggle with this, come and invest in the coaching to save yourself the time. So I did some breathing exercises, I did some physical exercises, I did all the physical stuff that I needed to do, you know, pelvic floor control, that kind of stuff. And mentally, I did what I just told you then. Guess what? It was just like old times. I could last as long as I wanted. I felt like the superior man. I was in complete control of my sexual energy. I felt it flowing through my fucking body, bro. Even thinking about it now makes me smile, because I remember times when I used to struggle with this premature ejaculation problem, and I used to visualize, because I never fed into a victim mindset. I never fed into a mindset where I was like, oh, you know, this is just me forever. I'm destined to be like this. I never fed into that bullshit. I never thought negatively. I always stayed positive. I always believed in myself. I always believed, because part of my brain would tell me, oh, the only way to last long is if you use pills, drugs, or if you watch porn and desensitize yourself. They're the only two options to last long, and you can't do it naturally because, oh, it's just not possible. I had those thoughts come into my brain, and I just believed in myself indefinitely. I'd be like, nah, fuck you, negative thoughts. I will show you that I can pull this off. Completely natural, no drugs, no porn, no substance, completely natural, completely control my sexual energy through my own mind and through my own breathing and through my own physical exercises. I can completely do that, 100% naturally. Guess what? I fucking did it, bro. And the day that I did that, I remember I stood up afterwards and I felt like I lasted as long as I want, by the way, just to fill in the blanks. We tried loads of different positions, and again, for this whole time, I was struggling. We just did missionary, and I put it in once and then put it back out, and I instantly came, right? So there was no fun in the bedroom because I couldn't switch it up, because it couldn't last longer than fucking 30 seconds. As soon as this happened, it's like it hit me. And as it hit me, as I was doing the thing, right, it hit me, and I was just smiling to myself in my brain like, yo, you fucking did it, bro. All the times I visualized myself in this exact situation, I imagined myself pulling it off and doing it and becoming the kind of guy that mastered his sexual energy. I visualized it vividly. Every single fucking day I would visualize this shit, because I wanted to be that guy. I don't want to be some fucking loser that couldn't, you know, handle his dick. I wanted to be the guy that can completely control his sexual energy and give a girl a good experience, right? Even at the age of 21. You know, it takes guys a lot of years to learn how to be good in the bedroom. Great, I'm 21, and obviously you don't master anything, but I'm very, very, let's say, exceptional now, because I mastered the one thing that was holding me back the most. So I visualized it. Okay, naturally when you visualize things, your mind picks up on certain ideas. Your mind just goes towards information that is going to help you achieve that goal. I believe very, very heavily in the law of attraction and law of assumption, etc., the laws of the universe. Go and study them if you haven't already. So when you visualize a goal in your brain every single day, your mind is naturally going to be open to opportunities in the external world that are going to get you closer to that goal. And it happened, and I did it. And it was like a fucking magical moment for me, because I remember when I finished and I stood up, and she was pleasantly surprised as well. She was like, what the fuck? She didn't say this, but I could tell by her face, she was like, okay, what happened there? 50 Shades of Grey has changed you. And I stood up and I just felt like the fucking man. I was like, yo, I did it, bro. Not even just for the fact of like, oh, that was nice, whatever. I could last longer than, 30 seconds, which was nice. It was fun because we changed up. We did loads of different positions, etc. But also just the fact that my visualization came true. It's kind of like I proved to myself that this shit works. Visualization works. I spent every single day just visualizing this shit, just wanting to become the kind of guy that could do that. And it happened naturally. No drugs, no substance, no porn, no stimulus, nothing. No alcohol, because I know alcohol desensitizes your penis as well, and it can make you help you last longer. I didn't have to do any of this shit. Completely sober. And I did it. I pulled it off. And now I'm the kind of guy that can confidently say, like, yeah, I don't struggle with that shit ever. Like, that's not bedroom problems. It's not a problem that I have to worry about anymore. That's ticked off the list. I can move on to, I don't know, going to the gym and working on this next exercise, right? The next weakness I need to work on, I don't know, social skills or whatever the fuck, right? I'm a social guy, but you get what I'm saying. I'm just giving examples. But yeah, that happened, and I want to teach you how to do the same thing, because I know some of you guys, especially when you get into NoFap, it will hit you and you'll be like, fucking hell, what do I do? I used to struggle with erectile dysfunction. I couldn't get hard, but now I get hard too quickly, and now I'm struggling with premature ejaculation. I can't win. And I don't want to watch porn and masturbate, because that's for losers. So what do? You come and learn from me. The coaching's down below in the description. I will save your fucking life, and I promise you, sexual confidence transfers over into every other area of your life. I remember walking down the street that day feeling like the fucking man. Invincible, bro. I was like, I fucking did it. It's part of your masculinity, bro. It really is. And if you're struggling with that, and if you know deep down, because it's part of your identity, naturally it gets ingrained in your subconscious. If that's in your subconscious brain and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not very good in the bedroom, It's naturally, you're not going to be very confident in real life, are you? You're not going to be confident in social situations or talking on camera or whatever. You're just not. Because it's an aspect, it's a pillar of your masculinity that you need to learn to master. Fitness, combat, sexual experience, okay? And I guess just purpose and mission. These things are pillars of your masculinity you must have on lock in order to feel confident, in order to feel like a man. How are you going to feel like a man if you can't even control your sexual energy in the bedroom? It's embarrassing. And I'm not saying that to insult you. I'm saying that because I've been there myself, and looking back, it's fucking embarrassing. But it's only now that I have moments where I think back to those times, and I have moments where I think back to who I am now, and it makes me smile because I'm like, fucking hell, I fucking did it. I fucking did it, bro. And now that I've learnt this knowledge, now that I get it, I can't unlearn it. It's not going anywhere. It's ingrained in my brain, right? That's the beauty of life. You can't unlearn it. Once I teach you these things, it will be there forever. You will never unlearn this. It's not like you're going to wake up and just forget it. That's it. You will forever be a master of your sexual energy. You'll never struggle with premature ejaculation ever again. That's a guarantee. That's not some sort of sales ploy. That's an absolute guarantee from a big brother to a little bro. I want to just help you out. I don't want you going around fucking trying to be a playboy and you can't even last longer than 2 seconds. It's embarrassing. I want you to enjoy your life as well. Sex is very, very enjoyable. Especially when you can, prolong the experience and change up the positions and do whatever you want to do. You can take control. You can be that masculine man. How are you going to dominate and control a woman in the bedroom if she can control you with a slight touch? You're fucked, aren't you? She's got all the power then, because she knows all I have to do is this, and he's going to instantly ejaculate. It's not a turn off, but it's a problem for some women. You have to learn to sexually satisfy them in every possible way, with your mouth, with your hands, with your fucking dick. Every girl likes it differently. Some girls will only be able to orgasm from penetration. Some girls might be able to orgasm just from you breathing on her, right? Like, every girl's different, but you want to make sure you can master every single aspect of your sexual life and sexual health. Come and learn from me and you'll be able to do that, okay? Don't make the same mistakes as me. It's awkward, it's embarrassing, it's not a very nice journey to be on, but it's part of it. It's how you learn, that's how you grow. And I'm only the confident individual you see in front of you today because I've had to go through those embarrassing and awkward moments. So I want to save you the time having to do that. And instead you can just learn from me. That's what mentorship's about. It just saves you years, and that's smart. It's a smart investment. It's productivity right there. So yeah, down below in the description. I'll see you soon, bro. Take care of yourself. Bow.